So Kyle and I have been on this amazing journey, and she actually was formerly the first Monat stylist that joined Monat back in the day. She's helped hundreds of people have better hair, have better lives, just have better all the way around. She is a person of service. She's a person of faith, and she is one of my most favorite people on the planet Earth. So Kyla, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and what you have seen Monat do for yourself, for your clients, and how it's affected your life.
Yeah, well, Tony, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so honored to be on here to visit with you guys. So yeah, I'm an Oklahoma girl, born and raised in Oklahoma, and I've been a stylist for almost 20 years now, which sounds so crazy to me. Almost 20 years. That's a long time to have a career, in this industry like that. So, I started with Monat about 5.5 years ago, took a huge leap of faith. And at the time, my family was just financially drowning. We needed something because our home was about to go into foreclosure. So, long story short, that's kind of how I got into Monat. And when I was first introduced to it, I actually said no. But the things happened in a couple of days, and I just decided to take the leap of faith. One of the things that was really intriguing to me as a stylist was just listening about the product, like what it was. It was vegan, gluten-free, paraben-free, sodium sulfate-free, all the things. At the time, we were not Leaping Bunny approved, but we are now, which is very incredible because that means we do not test our products on animals, nor do we test our ingredients where we get our ingredients from. They don't test their products on animals either. So that's a huge thing. But all these things that they were telling me about the product, I never even tried the product. We only had 9 products when we first signed up. I didn't have a website. We didn't have PDF files. We didn't have all the things. So took a huge leap of faith, jumped in. And when I first got the product, I literally could not believe what my eyes were seeing and what I felt. I have 3 children who are they're all older now, but at the time, after having kids, my hair just was never the same. I was losing my hair like crazy due to stress, thyroid issues, having kids, stress, right? So, I've learned so much about the anatomy of the hair and the scalp and all of those things that they don't teach you in hair school. And so I've learned all these incredible things of why the hair does what it does and why our bodies do what it does. It's an incredible thing. So I'm just going to teach you guys a little bit, very briefly, about kind of what goes on with the hair. And so when I was going through all these things, I was using the best of the best products. So I thought, I used the salon grade products. I used all the things, right? And so it was getting worse and worse. And so I just knew that I had to do something. So I've always looked for a product that had all the things that Monat offered. Nothing ever really did what I wanted it to do. I mean, I was promised the world, but nothing ever performed like I wanted it to. And so insert Monat, it started performing like I've always wanted a product to perform. So whenever you're having hair issues, there's something going on inside your body. And the first place that we notice is our hair, whether it's a surgery, medication, stress, pregnancy, diet. Diet is a huge part of something that you notice that your hair is changing. What we're eating, what we're putting in our bodies. So many things factor into what goes on with our hair. So remember that anything that's going on inside your body is going to affect your hair, which is why they do drug testing on hair strands, right? They can see everything that you're doing. So keep that in mind. So that I've learned that to feed your body good things, all the wonderful things that that's going to take care of your hair on the outside and make it healthy. So while you're taking care of the inside, you've got to take care of the outside as well and put good products on your body. And so what Monat does is it actually focuses on scalp health, because when you're feeding the scalp the good antioxidants and nutrients, that's going to allow for healthy hair growth. It's going to take care of your hair and keep it from aging so fast. So these are some of the things that, that I've learned. And once I got good products on my hair and I started taking care of my body on the inside, and I tried to lower my stress level and all the things that were going on in my life, my hair started getting better and better. So those are some of the things that if your hair is thinning, you got to take a look and see what's going on the inside. And those are some things that I've learned. So there was another thing I was going to talk about, and I completely just lost my train of thought. But Tony, was there anything else that you wanted me to kind of touch up on?
I do, because I experienced the same thing when I started using the products. I didn't realize I had hair loss. And after being on the product that very first time in August and September of 2014, when I went in the next time to get my hair done, which I go, usually anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks between appointments. I went into my hairstylist and she pulled my hairline back and I had all these baby hairs growing. I didn't even realize that I had hair loss, which we often don't know until you lose over half of it. And I know that you have struggled with hair loss through various things.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about our products that help promote regrowing hair, having thicker, fuller hair? Because you and I have experienced that, but I want them to hear from the professional side of it.
Yeah. So, I have a lot of people that say, well, I want the one that grows your hair back. And honestly, all of our products focus on the healthy scalp, right? So what's really cool about Monat is that we have a complete line of products that is for every kind of hair type. So we have to determine what type of hair that you have. And we have a hair quiz that you take, and you determine the type of hair and the line that is just specifically designed for you. And that's with a good consultation and getting the products that are right for you. But really, all of our products work on hair growth. One of the main things, obviously, is our Rejuvenate oil. It's incredible. It really adds those antioxidants and nutrients to the scalp. And then our IRT spray, which is our intense repair treatment spray, it actually boosts hair growth. I add that product to any of the lines that that's designed for you, and that you and your sponsor decide what hair type, whatever y'all decide. But the IRT spray, the Monat Black and the IRT shampoo, those are two of our top of the line. They have the most capixyl in them. Those are great for hair growth. Those lines are for very thin hair. So make sure that you guys are using the right products for you. A lot of times people will get the wrong products for them and it won't do what they want it to do, and they think it doesn't work for them. So make sure you're doing a thorough consultation. Here's another really cool thing that a lot of people don't know, is that you can have a sickness, you can have a surgery, you can have anything that happens to your body, and 4 to 6 to 8 weeks later, you may not notice anything. And then 6 weeks later, your hair starts changing, your hair starts shedding. And let me tell you, shedding is a normal thing. Shedding, everybody goes through it. Just like a snake's skin, he loses their skin or whatever, we all go through shedding. And so as we get older, our dormant phases and our shedding phases get longer, dormant phases get shorter, just because as we get older, our body changes and all the things, right? So that is a normal thing. Shedding is a normal thing. It's been around since the beginning of time. So hair loss can come from a sickness, from taking a medication, a new medication, changing up your medications, anything that you've done differently to your body. You may not notice it for 6 to 8 weeks later. And just an example is I had a surgery on March the 2nd, and 6 weeks later, I saw a little bit of shedding, but I didn't see any shedding at all in those first 6 weeks. But I started shedding, but every single day I was spraying my IRT spray on my scalp and just kind of preparing my scalp and getting prepared for that, because I knew it was coming. So those are some things that, to think about. If you have like somebody gets sick with the flu, and then 6 to 8 weeks later, you could see some shedding. And a lot of people will say, well, have you had anything going on in your life lately? And you'll say, well, no. Well, you don't remember, because that was 6 or 8 weeks ago. So just keep that in mind if you're having a shedding phase.
That's awesome. And then also too, to figure out what products can help you, you can go and take the hair quiz, which you can get through the person that invited you to this, or, if you're watching this, it can help you determine what products are best for your hair, but only list the thinning issue as your third concern, because what we have to figure out is your hair type first. Then you go back to the person that invited you and have a conversation. Okay, what can we tweak? What can we do? Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I always use that as a starting point just to answer the questions. And I look over the questions. I see what the system provides for them and recommends. And then I just go off of, what I see on those questions and determine the right products for them.
Awesome. Kyla, thank you so much. If you could just hang out with us for just a few more minutes to see if we have any questions that come through, that would be great.
Absolutely.
All right. Love you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. Next, you guys, we have Jennifer Pavlik. She is a 25-year stylist. She had her own salon for a very, very long time. Because of Monat, she decided to kind of step away from the chair and just work on the clients that she wanted to work on out of her home. And she is just an amazing wealth of information. She does a lot of color. She does a lot of consultations. And Jen, you've done so much and you are such a busy person, throughout all of this. And you were able to step away from the chair in April of last year, but you still continue to do hair because you love it. But tell me and tell everybody that's listening the differences that you've seen using this product through your salon, on yourself, for your clients, and give us some tips for those people that are hair challenged.
Okay, well, since I'm the veteran, we got Kyla who's been doing it for 20 years and Maggie, I think 13 years, something like that. So I'm the old broad over here that's been doing it a really long time. So I've had my hands in it, just about everything, right? And with any product line, there's always something out there that's trying to be better than the next. So when I started, I had really great hair and I was involved in a couple other network marketing companies. And I had somebody approach me about almost 5 years ago about Monat. And I was like, nope, want nothing to do with it. Blah, blah, blah. Had my own excuses, just like all of us did, right? And I was in my salon that I had, and one of my girlfriends was pregnant around the same time that I was. And I said, are you losing any hair yet? And we pulled our hairlines back and she wasn't. And I screamed. I didn't pay any attention. I do my hair every day. And I started to have a receding hairline. Like it was way, way, way back here. And I thought, oh my gosh. I knew what was on the market. I knew that I didn't want to put that on me because of the healthy lifestyle that I live. I'd already changed my color line. I already started to change some of my products because at the time my other salon was in my house prior to us moving. And I was like, I don't want to use these things because I know a lot of these other hair restoration products out there, they will disrupt the hormone system. I've seen it do it with young men. I've seen it do it with women. And I was like, I was nursing at the time and I was like, no. Let me maybe think about going back to that Monat stuff, whatever it was. I couldn't, I didn't know at the time. And I got some products. And for myself, I'm an instant gratification person, right? Like I want it yesterday. I already had great hair. Like I've always been blessed with really good hair, or so I thought. And I started to use the products and there was just a little bit of a learning curve. And I think to myself, well, hey, if this old cat can relearn how to do something, anybody can do this. So there was a little bit of a learning curve, like shampooing twice, really focusing on shampooing the scalp and conditioning the ends. So I thought I had really good hair, but really come to find out I had really crappy hair because what I have learned throughout the years is all of these products that were always made our hair look so beautiful actually basically put a great big gigantic band-aid over your hair because they were filled with silicones, they were filled with waxes and emollients, and they actually weren't nurturing the hair, they were coating the hair. So all these famous oils that are out there, they were just coating the hair to make your hair look great for the moment. But then over time, people would start to have hair issues or hair breakage. You apply heat to something that has silicone in it, and you basically have created resin and your hair is going to snap and break, right? So, I started using the products, and to be honest, in the beginning, my hair kind of rebelled a little bit, but I'm like, it's a new product, kind of like when you use a new skincare. But what I ended up finding out is, well, now at the time I needed to switch the products for my hair. They weren't really geared towards my hair type. But I realized what was happening is my hair started getting better and better and better and better. So I once thought I had good hair, but I have great hair now, because it's removing all of that buildup that is on your hair. And where it's different than back in the day, we used to strip the hair and clarify the hair. Well, I didn't realize, like Kyla said, you're kind of just taught the basics. And even though we've been doing hair for a long time, you kind of follow through with all of that stuff. And for me, when you strip the hair and you clarify it, you're actually stripping all the natural oils as well. So then what happens is that the scalp goes haywire, starts to overproduce, especially for those of you who over shampoo your hair and you do it every single day. The reason your scalp gets so oily is because it's going into panic mode, and it says, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to have so much oil, and I have to overproduce because somebody's over shampooing, somebody's using too harsh of a shampoo or a clarifier, or somebody is using something that's filled with so many waxes and silicones and emollients that it's coating the scalp, and I have to overproduce oil to cleanse the scalp itself. So that's kind of some of the things that your hair will go through, and why people feel that maybe they have to shampoo more often, or maybe, that their products aren't working just overall, because what Monat does is it slowly, instead of stripping your hair, it's slowly going to remove that buildup while balancing out your pH level to your hair. The best part about this, though, what I've learned over the years is now our products can actually do the job and target the issues that your hair is having, instead of putting this great big band-aid over your hair, which other products generally do. So for me to watch my clients' hair change over the years, what's been really great is, yes, their hair has been more strong and they can withstand some fun color changes that we couldn't do because their hair was delicate before. Their darker colors last longer because the colors actually are penetrating into the cuticle layer instead of sitting on the cuticle layer. So think of all those products you've used over the years. The color can only penetrate so far because it's got to try to cut through all of the silicones and waxes that are sitting on the hair shaft. So now my colors can actually penetrate a little bit deeper and be held on a lot longer. And my highlights end up processing a little bit more quicker and more evenly because it doesn't have to cut through any of the junk in order to do its job. And best of all, the products can target your hair issues. So if you have frizzy hair and it's dry and it needs extra hydration or it needs extra moisture, it's removed all of that buildup and it's getting down into that cuticle layer, getting down into the hair itself and repairing the hair the way it needs. And same with the scalp. The products are able to penetrate that scalp, nourish the scalp, balance out any oils, stimulate that hair growth, block out that nasty DHT hormone. And so it's just been a wonderful learning experience the last 5 years that it's made me fall in love with doing hair again and helping people again, because, for so long, I think you guys can agree, we can only get so creative doing haircuts when the receding hairline isn't growing back in due to hormones and health and whatever. And you can only do so many creative cuts. You can only help them if their water and their products can only do so much. And now I feel like I'm able to help my clients on a level that I was never, ever able to do. And just to see people who had felt they had terrible hair be able to grow their hair long and do things and feel more confident, because it's a crown that you never take off. And it's just, I don't know. I think back of some of the people that just had to wear short hair because they just, they couldn't do anything. And it was so crappy. Their hair just was crappy. No matter how good of a stylist I am, and no matter they could leave looking like $1 million, there was all these other contributing factors. And usually it came right down to products. And so for me, it was just a mindset and having patience and letting the products do their job. I always contribute it to it being a lifestyle change for your hair, just like diet and exercise is a lifestyle change for you. It doesn't happen overnight. but it's going to happen. Give it its time, let it do what it needs to do. And, you know, the results are going to be amazing. I promise you. I mean, all of us are standing here and it's changed our lives and it's changed our careers and it's changed our clients. And, you know, we were skeptics, and there's going to be skeptics because it is that good. And when something's that good, people are going to be like, oh, I don't know if this is believable, but it is, you guys. It's wonderful. Yeah. So that's a little bit of it in a nutshell. Let it do its thing.
Awesome. So we're going to come back for some questions, because I do have a specific question for you, but I want to, turn it over to Maggie. And then I've got 4 burning questions that kept coming up ever since we posted that yesterday. So hang tight, Jen.
You bet.
Thanks. All right, you guys, next we have Maggie Daniel. She owns a salon in Southern Illinois. She's been a stylist for 13 years. She actually has a couple of different businesses. Her family owns farms, and her husband is now doing his dream job of being a videographer, which if you guys are on YouTube right now, he does all my YouTube stuff. But Maggie, I'm going to let you tell your story, because it's really cool how you came upon this. And you do have a lot of stylists on your team, because you guys live in very small rural areas, which, the next town, which is, 1,200 people, is 30 minutes away. So, all of the stylists that you have on your team are just absolutely amazing. They were blown away. They didn't think that Monat could do what it did. But I'll go ahead and share your experiences with this product and how it's helped change your clients and your hair.
All right. So my name is Maggie Daniel. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. I've been with Monat for 5 years now, and my story is a little different than Kyla and Jen's, because it wasn't like somebody didn't reach out to me necessarily about the product, but where we were at financially wasn't a great place. If you've lived paycheck to paycheck or paycheck behind a paycheck, and you feel overworked and underpaid, and you're just trying to make ends meet, that's kind of where we were at. But I was doing all of the dream jobs that I loved. I had a salon. I was working in the salon. I was doing wedding and event decorating, and I was doing like hand painted signs and furniture for like local antique sales, flea markets, things like that. And I loved that. I loved all of that. And my husband was working 2 jobs, but our time as a family was few and far between. And we were struggling to just pay our bills. We didn't have credit card debt. We didn't even have car payments. Like, we literally just had our mortgage and the bills that come with like your everyday living. And so my sister is in a successful network marketing business, and she wanted me to join her for years and years, but I don't really love to work out, and I like donuts. And so I was like, that's not my thing. I can't be in that kind of business and feel good about it. And so what happened is my sister stumbled across Monat, and she sent me a message one day, and she was like, I found it. I found the thing that's going to work for you, and it's going to line up perfectly with what you already do. And I was like, no, hard no. I don't want to do network marketing, because although I had watched my sister go from public aid to 6 figures in this, network marketing, I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a pyramid scheme. I thought her free trips were annoying, and I unfollowed her on Facebook while I lived in her basement. I didn't want to do network marketing because it doesn't work. So I thought. I tend to come back on my words later. So she's like, no, this is it. This is what you need to do. It goes perfectly with what you're doing. And I was like, there's no freaking way that I can sell that shampoo when I can't sell the hairspray I got on my retail shelf. Like, no one's gonna buy that shampoo, because in my mind, this fancy Monat is how we pronounced it, because we didn't know. We're like, no one's going to buy that expensive Monet when nobody is buying my $12 hairspray. But we didn't know what we didn't know. And I was just like, what do I got to lose? I'm already chasing checks to the bank because we can't pay our bills. And what if this works out? What if this works out? I hadn't even tried the product. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go all in. And so I signed up, although I didn't want to be in network marketing. I didn't think I could just sell this expensive shampoo. And let me tell you, that first wash changed everything. It was like a come to Jesus moment where you're like, what is this hair? What is this hair that I have? I have naturally curly hair, and if I let it air dry or I like blow dry it, it is huge. But with one wash, my hair laid silky smooth. And then I started educating myself about these products and seeing that they were healthy, that they were clean, that they didn't have all the chemicals, silicones, waxes, and all that junk in it. Then it was like, oh, okay. And then I saw, oh, wait, this can help with hair growth. And I've got these clients that are struggling. And I mean, women who you could see their scalps through their hair for years, sitting in my chair, crying, how can you help me? What can I get? And me going to my supply house and being like, what do we have to offer? What do we have to offer? And they would try supplements and they would try the shampoos and they would try the sprays and nothing ever worked. And they came back every 6 weeks and they were disappointed because what I got them didn't work until this opportunity, this product line. And for the first time ever, they came back in 4, 6, 8 weeks and they looked like chia pets. They had new growth all over their hair. They were sending me texts with pictures of their hair and their scalp, like, oh my gosh, it's working, it's working. And it's still working 5 years later. And like Tony said, my team is a lot of stylists. Not that Monat is for stylists. It's like less than 5% or something like that are actual stylists in Monat. But when I started, that's all I knew who to talk to were stylists. And so when we would have an event or something, those were the first people I was going to call because I was like, holy crap, guys, I found the golden ticket of hair care and it's actually doing what it says it's going to do. It's not some big-winded talk and fancy marketing that tells you it's going to work. It actually works. And Tony knows, she came to our first little like wine and wash, and it was probably 90% stylists. And every single one of them, after they got done blow drying their hair, were blown away. So imagine a tiny town and then 20 minutes in every direction are more tiny towns. And they all went to the same cosmetology school, taught by the same cosmetology teachers. And they're all like blown away by it and signing up to sell it. It's just a product unlike anything I've ever experienced. To have my clients feel confident in their hair again, to not feel like they need to wear a hat or bring me a magazine with wigs in it and to have me help pick out a wig. Like, what a sad day as a hairstylist to have your client bring in a wig magazine so you can help them pick out a wig. Like, when you have a tool like this in your back pocket to be like, throw the freaking wig magazine away. Let's help restore your hair, grow and get it growing again. So that was a huge game changer for me. And then not only for hair growth, but like Jen said, where their hair color is lasting longer because their hair is healthier and the color's penetrating into the cuticle. Or when you've had a client that's coming from another stylist who's given them a double process time after time after time to where their hair is so brittle and fragile. There's places where it is broken off at the scalp and they're coming to you like, how can you help me restore this hair? what do you have? And you can give them the restructure line and watch their hair transform in weeks. And to be like, now it's been over a year and a half, maybe even 2 years since that specific client came to me, where we're like, remember when you came in and your hair was burnt off to your scalp, and now you have a full head of hair that's healthy, it's accepting color, and it's just, it blows my mind every time I use it to have it just continue to perform on its promises, and then to have a scientific advisory board that is consistently and continuously evolving our products and making them better and better. So that's my thing.
You know what, Maggie, I love that. So, you know, you and I are both curly girls.
Mhm.
I have my hair, as I've gotten older, the strands have thinned out a little bit, but I still have a lot of hair. And for us curly girls, I know that some shampoos work better than others. So what is your recommendation for curly girls that have frizz?
Okay, so curly hair, it craves moisture and hydration, because when you have stick straight hair, the oil from your scalp has an easier time to go straight down that hair strand. And when you have curly hair, it takes it longer. So you need to feed your hair those natural curls, hydration, moisture, so to help with that frizz. So probably my top picks are the smoothing shampoo, smoothing deep conditioner. Those are my go-to. Smoothing deep conditioner is like a gift from the heavens for frizz. I also still love the OG. I love Renew shampoo. I feel like it just is got such a good feeling after a shampoo. So I love smoothing shampoo and conditioner, Renew shampoo. I even love doing the old school like replenish mask and giving your hair those proteins that it needs to just, it's good. I love, those are my favorites. Also, advanced hydration, shampoo, condition, like the whole regimen of it, advanced hydration, I think is really great for a treatment. But if you're targeting specifically frizz, smoothing is my go-to.
So let me go back, because you mentioned something really important, and one thing that a lot of people don't understand, and actually Jen and I had this conversation a few days ago, because we don't have necessarily proteins, it's amino acids, right, in our products. So define the difference there, because a lot of people don't understand. If you could kind of clarify that a little, what is different about what Monat has as far as, you know, the proteins or amino acids in our products?
Me or Jen? I think Jen.
Yeah, Jen, I mean, if you want to speak to that, that's great.
Well, you know, the one thing is sometimes all of our hair is made up of protein, and the stronger your hair is, the more protein it has. And as I like to use the version, the more cotton candy your hair is, the less protein it has. Now, we all need it because our hair, skin, and nails are made up of protein, but our amino acids just work just a little bit different. You know, from what I have been trained in, and again, we're always still learning. And one of the cool things that I have learned is sometimes proteins can actually harden the hair too much and make it a little bit more brittle. And amino acids, they just disperse things a little bit differently. And they end up doing a lot of the same job in strengthening the hair like a protein would, just not hardening it per se, I guess, is trying to explain it in non-hairstylist terms. Maybe Kyla can back me up on this, because she might be able to, because in my mind everything sounds really, really good, and then I spit it out and I'm like, but from my understanding, like with the amino acids, is they work very, very similar. They are just not as, they just don't have the hardening qualities as a protein would, but still strengthens the hair and still allows that our products have that nice balance of moisture and amino acids to them.
Kyla, did you have anything to add to that?
Well, a lot of people don't understand that too much protein to their hair is very damaging. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've seen people go to, you know, wherever, Sally Beauty Supply, and they think their hair is all fried and dry and messed up, and they get all these deep conditioning treatments that are loaded with protein, and they think they have to do them every single day to get their hair back. But what they're doing is they're really making it worse. And so I think Monat, now you can like if you're going to use a replenish mask every single day when you wash your hair, like that is not good. You can overdo it. But Monat does have a better, cleaner way of doing it. Like Jen said, it doesn't make it so hard and brittle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. And then you guys, I want you to talk about products specifically geared, because we hear this a lot. I have oily hair. I have an oily scalp. So can we talk about the products that help, alleviate? And the one thing, even, with Monat, is that we're pH balanced, which most hair care products are not pH balanced for our hair and our scalp. So that's a win. But can we talk about specific products for scalp issues? Oily, let's go talk about oily, and let's talk about dandruff and other issues like eczema and psoriasis and dermatitis. So if you guys can make some recommendations on what products people should use if they have those conditions.
Yeah. In an easier term to say, this is what I tell people well, my hair is so oily, my scalp is so oily. Well, whatever you're using is actually drying your scalp out. So the more you wash, like Jen said, you're getting rid of all those oils that you need. And so Monat really works to balance out that pH of the scalp and the hair to create those nice, even oils. And so when people use other stuff over the counters with all of the sodiums and sulfates in them, you're really drying your scalp out. So you're freaking your scalp out, and it's overproducing the oil, which is why a lot of people get oily hair. I used to wake up every single morning before Monat, and I looked like I rubbed a pork chop all over my head because my hair, I know this sounds awful, but my hair was, it looked so greasy and oily, but it was because I was using something I thought was, a professional product, but it was drying my scalp out, and my scalp was overproducing the oil to try to keep up, but it never balanced out. So that's what I say about oily hair, to try to explain it to someone that doesn't really understand how that goes. So you guys can add what you want to that too.
So
I just want to I'm sorry, Kyla, I want to clarify. So just depending on what their hair type is, regardless if they're oily or not, whatever their hair type is, all of our shampoos are going to help self-correct the oiliness because of the pH balance and because we don't use the harmful salts and sulfates and all that stuff. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, correct. And a lot of times people will, like, if it's really bad, sometimes they'll wash the first wash with like the Monat Black or Revive shampoo, and then follow up with a more hydrating, like a Renew or the smoothing like shampoo to kind of help put back some of the good oils as well. So, you guys can kind of follow up on that as well. I always, if someone has really bad, I'll say, okay, get the black and then follow up your second wash with a Renew or whatever.
Something that sounds like it wouldn't be a good thing, but I know we all tend to recommend it, is actually the Rejuvenate oil, to do that as a pre-treatment before you shampoo, to give your scalp and your hair like the nutrients that it needs, because that can help balance out the oil. Even though it sounds like, well, you're already oily, let's put more oil on it. But like I think Kyla said earlier, when you're oily and you're shampooing, your body is saying, I need to produce more, I need to produce more, I need to produce more. So if you can give it proper nutrients with an oil that is specifically made to mimic your body's natural oils, that it's going to actually penetrate into your scalp and your hair follicle and not just lay on the surface, that's going to give your scalp what it needs to balance out those oils as well.
Absolutely.
And I think
go ahead.
doing the oil treatments too actually help kind of break down, does everything that you guys said, but also some of the reason why you do get an oily scalp as well is that, again, we talked about some of our shampoos and conditioners that have lots of silicones and waxes, and it sits on the scalp. and that scalp actually goes into panic mode because it naturally, the oil is good. It's cleansing itself, right? It's moisturizing your skin and your scalp, but it's also a way it cleanses itself naturally. So it's pushing out, it's trying to push out what's clogging in. So it's overproducing that oil. So using our Rejuvenique oil as a scalp treatment, a little goes a long way. Massaging it in there kind of helps break down all of that stuff and allows the shampoos to come in and do their job and remove that oil and balance itself out.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And you guys, you know what, the other thing I want to talk about too is that most people do not shampoo their hair properly.
No, and that was what I forgot to talk about. So for me, you just shampoo your hair, right? You put your hair up and you shampoo it. But I needed to go back old school where you learn to actually like shampoo the scalp, back in beauty school, and literally my whole philosophy is shampoo the scalp, condition the ends, and condition the ends from here to here with most of our conditioners. So cleansing that scalp, and if it doesn't lather up, rinse really well and cleanse it again until you get that good lather. And sometimes, a lot of people end up getting a lot of buildup, which will lead into like that psoriasis or icky kind of scalp or dandruff back here, especially if you have thick hair, all of your hair is pulled back. So sometimes the hair gets matted down, the product gets stuck, it doesn't get rinsed. It's okay to do this and get in there with your hands and break it up and shampoo it that way and get in the underneath and tip your head upside down, but cleanse that scalp because that's where your hair growth is coming from. So you gotta take care of that.
Yeah, you gotta use strong fingers, no wimpy fingers. And I have hair like that where I have to section it and do this part and then the top or flip it upside down. And I've had an oil treatment in for a full 24 hours. It doesn't even look greasy.
Wow. Yeah, but you know what, also too, you guys, you know what, again, read the directions. We say shampoo twice and you leave it in, the second shampoo, leave it in for 2 minutes, condition, leave it in for 2 minutes. And if you tend to have an oily scalp, you don't take the conditioner all the way through your hair. It's got to come from here down. So am I correct, ladies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I've been listening for 6 years. I figured I learned something, right? Okay, last question, because this has come up so much. And we're talking about people with, the dry hair, the frizzies, the flyaways, that type of thing. And again, I know that has to do with lack of moisture, but people specifically, whether they're curly thick, curly thin, or straight flyaway, what are the recommendations for flyaways?
So I have one thing to say about that real quick. When you're using Monat, if you're using anything, number one rule is to turn your heat down. Turn your heat down because I hate this term, but it could be frying your hair. A lot of people don't understand that blow dryers, just because it's not actually touching your hair like an iron or flat iron, it can do some damage. And the higher wattage blow dryers, the 1875 watts, those blow dryers can get up to 550 degrees. So I always tell people, when you're using blow dryers and flat irons, make sure you've turned your heat down, especially if you're using Monat, because Monat does not have the silicones and waxes in it. You don't have a coat of junk on your hair. And, flat irons and curling irons should not be over 350. Blow dryers should be on medium heat. If you want the high power blow dry there, medium heat. It should not be on high heat. A lot of people think, well, the higher the heat, the higher the wattage, I'm going to get my hair dried faster. Well, you're just creating more frizz for yourself. It's a very expensive blow dryer. I always recommend it, but it's the Dyson blow dryer. It's one of the best blow dryers on the market, in my opinion. It took them 5 years to create this motor that gives you high power with low heat. And so I'm obsessed with the technology behind it. And I've put so many people on that blow dryer and their hair has gotten better. But just make sure that you're turning your hot tools down, because that really does create a lot of flyaways and frizz. And, you can use great products all day long, but you have to really take care of your hair in that aspect of it. So that's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. And then you guys, anybody else have any last parting words?
I do, just a little bit. Now, again, when you're talking about your frizzy and dry hair prior to Monat, again, you have to think about it this way. A lot of people are putting stuff on their hair to coat that frizz, to calm that frizz down. This is great for frizzy hair. Well, it's got silicone in it. This oil is great for this. Well, it's got something else in it. So you're going to probably experience maybe a little frizziness when starting to use this product, but we're removing all the stuff that you've been coating on your hair, and our products are going to get in there and nourish those ends. And the other thing too, which I have found, and maybe you curly girls will agree with me because I do have curly hair myself, but I actually like to take a soft boar bristle brush when my hair is feeling kind of greasy here and dry down here, and brush it through and get those natural oils in. And especially if I do a Rejuvenate oil treatment. And I think it helps nourish once your hair is clean and free of all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree that I think using the oil as a treatment, like a couple times a week, and doing not only your scalp, but working it all the way through your ends, I think really can help with those dry, frizzy, flyaway hairs.
Mm-hmm. And our Rejuva beads.
Rejuva
Love our Rejuva beads. It's great additive to your regimen.
And for me,
yeah, but Kyla, tell them what it does.
It is the best technology on the planet. It's a split end mender. Everybody should have the Rejuva beads. I mean, you can literally, a lot of people wearing their hair in a ponytail, and you'll pull it out and you have all those little pieces, that kind of break off or whatever in your little ponytail holder. And you can literally watch Rejuva beads do its work, and it just closes up those flyaways and split ends. So Maggie, were you going to say something?
Something I was going to say that I have added into my routine after a shower, even like my oldest daughter has pretty long hair, and she recently got highlights because mom got bored during quarantine. So we've been using the Unknot Detangler, and like what that does blows my mind, that it's not only a detangler, but it's restoring the health of the hair. It has Fiber Rescue and Rejuvenate S in it, and like that they have that technology in a detangler blows my mind. And it has been doing wonders for her hair, and I've literally worn my hair in a top knot about 29 days out of the 31 or whatever. I don't even know what day of quarantine we're on, but like I can't take it down because you guys will be so turned off by this hair right now. But like when I get out of the shower, or when I take my hair down from being up all day and I spray it with Unknot Detangler, like it's just a game changer to add that nutrients back into your hair in a spray that's lightweight. It's not going to make your hair oily or weigh it down, but it's going to actually heal your hair. It's a game changer.
And the last thing I want to add to that, with Monat products, a little bit goes a long way. So I love to educate people on that. Little small amounts, because over-the-counter products are 80% water and Monat is only 40% water. And we use a medical grade water it's fancy. So you get a lot of straight product with Monat, and so you don't have to use a lot. And so I wanted to add that too, because educating on how to use the product is so important.
No, I totally agree. And I know that you two of you guys have calls or events here in the next couple of minutes. So I just want to give a summation of things we weren't able to cover. The first is that we have proprietary blends, and you guys, that's really important. It means that nobody can copy us and play in our backyard. We own those formulations, and it will always and remain forever a part of Monat. The second thing is that we sustainably farm. We're non-GMO. We do not use herbicides and pesticides. As Kyla mentioned in the beginning, Leaping Bunny certified. If you don't know what these terms mean, please just go Google them. You guys, we have won accolades and awards because of our product, because of our company, because of how we treat our people. It's unfounded in a company that is we'll be 6 years old in August. but it's unfounded in a company like this, with the stellar plant-based ingredients that we use and everything, that we're striving to be. In addition to that too, and thank you, Maggie, for the reminder, we're going to become a B corporation by the year of 2025. We've already started that journey. That means you guys, we already have used plant-based and sustainably based inks and recycling on our bottles. It's going to be a whole plan. A B Corp is, there's only 1,200 companies in the United States alone that are recognized as that. We are committed to the Mother Earth. And the other thing is too, is cutting edge technology products. You can't, we mentioned the Scientific Advisory Board. We cannot be beat in that category because we have the best of the best. Helping to advise us and formulate our products. So, and not only that, you guys, our anti-aging, we've got 4 key ingredients. We've got the Rejuvenique oil, we've got Capixyl, we have Crotasorb, and we have Procataline. So, again, I don't want to take time away. You can go Google those and find out how great they are. But ladies, thank you. Thank you so much for your help with this. It was amazing. I am so glad that I recorded this so we can, just share this with the world, the amount of information that was in this call for the last 45 minutes. And I so appreciate your time. And we kind of threw this together on a wing and a prayer at the last minute. And I certainly appreciate, you guys being flexible. So thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you guys.
Love y'all.
I miss
See
you.
ya.
Miss you. That was awesome. Thanks you guys so much.
Thank you.
Love you so much. And I can't wait to squeeze your faces.
That
No.
pause,
Yes.
right? That training center. I mean, it's coming along, right?
Yes. Slowly. It's
We can
slow.
come quarantine there.
now, Maggie.
Slow.
Yeah.
But no, we're getting it done. But I
You're
just,
still live on YouTube.
oh, oops. Hold on.